Allison Williams. She's a 37-year-old reporter at ESPN, and she was one of the more well-known reporters at ESPN. She covered the national championship this year. She covered the NCAA Final Four. She's a sideline reporter for college basketball and football, and she covered the biggest games each and every week, the biggest events. She's one of the most talented people that works for the network. And before this football season, she had announced that she was going to opt out of reporting this year because she's not vaccinated, and she wanted to have a child with her husband. They have one child. She wanted to have a second one. And so she said, I understand there's conflicting reports. I'm not telling anyone that they should or they shouldn't get the vaccine. What I'm saying is that I have fears that if I get the vaccine, it could affect my fertility, and I'm not willing to take that risk for a job. So I'm going to opt out of this season, and hopefully next season it'll come back. Everything will be okay. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't even an option for her either. She's not allowed at this point to opt out of the season. At that point, there wasn't a vaccine mandate. Now there is a vaccine mandate by the Walt Disney Company, who owns ESPN, and they say if you are not vaccinated, then you must get vaccinated or you'll be fired.
Yeah.
That's the only choice. There's no, I'm going to opt out, I'll work from home. No exceptions. You have to get vaccinated. And so she came out on Instagram on Friday and she announced that she's going to be parting ways with ESPN because she filed for, let me see what she called it, a request for accommodation so that she could avoid the vaccine mandate, and they denied it. And so she said, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to work here anymore. If you're not going to work with me, you're not going to give me any way to not get vaccinated because of my own personal concerns, then I'm going to have to leave. And I want to read a quote from her Instagram. It was a video about 5 minutes long. I just want to read a quick quote from it. She said, quote, "Belief is a word I've been thinking about a lot lately because in addition to the medical apprehensions regarding my desire to have another child in regards to receiving this injection, I am also so morally and ethically not aligned with this. And I've had to really dig deep and analyze my values and my morals. And ultimately, I need to put them first. The irony in all this is that a lot of those same values and principles I hold so dear are what made me a really good employee and probably helped with the success that I've been able to have in my career. And it wasn't that long ago that those values were aligned with the Walt Disney Company." So it makes me think of a video that Michael showed me earlier today. I was behind the 8 ball and I didn't get it clipped so that we could show it, but I'll just explain. I'll just explain what it was. It's a video of this guy. He's like a blogger on Twitter. I had never heard of him. He's like the hard hat something. Yeah. He has like 25,000 followers. So, I mean, not like super famous, but pretty well followed guy. Yeah. And he made this video. It's about 2 minutes long. And his argument in the video is that the reason that companies want to have vaccine mandates is not because they're worried about COVID. It's not because they're worried about you spreading it. Instead, it's because they want to further weed out all of the conservatives and all of the people who would have an issue with something like a vaccine mandate. And once those people are gone, then you have no one who's going to raise concern. You have no one who is going to be in opposition to whatever they're told. And they're just going to follow like little lemmings and do whatever these liberal companies tell them to do. And his point was that it's super dangerous when you think about law enforcement, when you think about the armed forces. Those things obviously super important to have differing opinions, people who have deep-seated values that they're going to fight for. I would argue that it's almost as important in the media because those are the people who inform everyone else. And if we weed out every conservative from the media, then all you're going to get, I mean, wouldn't be that different from what you have right now.
There's like 8 people.
Then you're going to have no opposition at all. 8-0. You're just going to have leftist talking points being parroted with absolutely no pushback. And I think that is maybe not as dangerous, but almost as dangerous as law enforcement, armed forces. The media informs the everyday normal people. And I understand this is ESPN, this is a sports reporter, but it paints a picture to me of what could happen to people in the media. And if they're going to be weeded out because of their, I mean, let's be real, it's because of their conservative views. That's what it is. And so it concerns me. And the question I want to ask you guys is, Do you agree with that? Do you think that there is an ulterior motive to these mandates, and is it going to weed out conservatives?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think 3 points. First, yeah, I think absolutely. It's not that they want to weed out conservatives. They want to weed out anybody they see as a threat or a danger. And, the way the media has sold COVID is that it's this existential threat. It's going to destroy humanity, basically. And so if anyone's not protecting 100% against it, well, then everyone's going to get killed. So that's the first thing. But then the other two things I think are really important about this story is, one, there's been a lot of research on this sort of fertility thing about the COVID vaccines, and that theory has been largely debunked. Like there's no evidence, concrete evidence to show that it affects people's fertility whatsoever. And my second point is that doesn't matter at all because we don't.
You're right.
Setting up a system where like the medical elites and the experts, they get to say one thing, they get to decree one thing, and then everyone has to follow what they do no matter what. First off, you can't have scientific discourse because dissenting opinions is a necessity to scientific discourse. And secondly, you're creating an authoritarian country where no one can do what they want. They all have to listen to these elite experts that have no idea what our day-to-day lives are like.